risk is inherent to capitalism. Capitalism is a system that differentiates itself because people are incentivized to have skin in the game. You are rewarded according to the risk you're willing to take. You cannot take low risk and expect maximum returns. That only works in dysfunctional societies like rent-seeking societies, like many of these African countries where a lot of the institutions are set up to be extractive and beneficial only to a very small elite class. And capitalism doesn't work in those cases because, the market doesn't dictate what works within the economy. It's just the government that dictates that, and it's designed in a way to enrich certain people. That doesn't work. That's not real capitalism. Capitalism, when it's functioning properly, is meant to reward people based on the risk they take, which means they're doing something that is against the status quo. They're doing something that's different, that's contrarian. And that is why it's risky. There's a huge risk of failure. However, if it works, there's more value generated for society, and there's creative destruction of the ideas that have become stagnant and they're not moving society forward. But when you look at socialism and communism, these highly planned economic systems, you find that they optimize for different things. They don't optimize for differentiation or being different or going against the status quo or being contrarian. What they do optimize for, and this also applies to these capitalist systems that are mostly set up for rent seekers like many of these African governments, what you find is they optimize for maintaining the status quo of ideas. If the government defines that a certain thing is going to happen, then the society organizes itself to bring that to fruition, even if it might be against the long-term benefit for that society itself, right? I think industrial policy, which is planning the industries, protecting local producers and enabling them to get nurtured, to grow up, to mature before you allow foreign competitors in, I think that can be healthy if it is used appropriately. And we've talked about this in a previous video. However, it only works if there is a high level of internal competition. So that competition that you're shielding the local producers from against the foreign competitors should be happening internally. The competition should be fierce internally. And the best companies, the ones that produce the most value for society, should win. And anyway, those are entirely different stories. The point being that capitalism is a system that rewards risk. And that's much better than all these other systems, because another societal system could optimize for the most intelligent people or the people with the most government connections or something else like that. But you'll find that societies like that will be much more stagnant. They lack that dynamism that really drives societies forward. And that has huge impacts. Think about it. Think about it in a different way, right? I'm a huge music fan. And there's one particular artist whose story is quite interesting to me. His name is The Weeknd, or it was The Weeknd. But what you're going to find with his story that's quite interesting is at some point he left high school and went to Toronto and lived homeless for quite some time before he found his footing as an artist, managed to get some music out, and eventually, made his way into the music industry. And that's amazing. That's an amazing story. It's incredibly rare. And the reason why it works is because he had skin in the game. He had a gigantic risk of failure. If you're an artist, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're anything within this capitalist system, if you do not take risks, then you cannot be rewarded. And that's what makes this system beautiful. It's because it doesn't matter how intelligent you are, how rich you are to begin with at least, or how connected you are within the government circles and all these things. All that matters is you have the ability to take risk, to adapt, to pivot, to be persistent, and in whatever field you're looking at, whether it's artistic, it's creative, it's entrepreneurial, it's scientific, you can be rewarded. And that's the beauty of capitalism. So capitalism and risk cannot be taken apart. Risk is inherent to capitalism. So I would be lying to you if I said, as a capitalist, you should not take risks. You have to take risks. However, there is a science to taking risks. How do you take risks? Now, I think Warren Buffett has the best analogy on this. And let me explain it to you for a second. Warren Buffett's idea on this is that you can take risks, even with debt if necessary, Just don't take so much risk that you will be destroyed if things go wrong. And don't risk what you do have and do need for what you don't have and don't need. This is especially important in the African context, where high income earners feel compelled to show their success outwardly, especially on social media.
Hey, if you like that video, click somewhere to the right of your screen to watch the full unfiltered version. All the best and thank you.